Arsenal are not being clinical enough. Hey guys, welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Southampton won, Arsenal won. Very interesting game, but by no means like this game compared to the game against Leeds United are completely different. It felt the same. In the end, the fact that last time out against Leeds we hold on to the lead, but today we didn't. And the fact that this game we clearly have more chances than the one that we had last time out. I think in the first half we played pretty well. It's just that scoring that one goal is not enough, and we were trying to look for this killer goal, the second goal, at least in any way. We need to look for that second goal, but we didn't. A lot of chances being wasted this time, and honestly, I felt like a loss. I felt very disappointed. Again, I woke up at 6 just to watch this game, and I felt, after scoring the first goal, I thought, we might have a chance to beat Southampton, And of course, there's quite a lot of build up before the game saying that, can Southampton be, disappoint Arsenal by making them drop points or something like that? And I was like, yeah, of course they can. Anything can happen in football. So. And that was pretty much it. And the starting lineup's pretty much the same. Wasn't expecting Zinchenko to come back. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if I should be or we should be expecting Zinchenko to make come back before the World Cup. I doubt it's gonna happen. He hasn't been trained for like pretty much a month since the North London derby. And the thing is, the problem I have is that keep putting Tomiyasu at left back. Again, he is a great player, but I don't think today would suit him. I think today we would have probably won a more left-sided, a left-footed left back today. And of course, you guys can arguably say that Tomiyasu has been in good form. I agreed, but I think because the game against Liverpool, that one's a special request, correct? I mean, you need to defend Mo Salah the majority of the time, and the fact that Salah would cut inside, try to shoot with his left, and of course, when he cuts inside, you have Tomiyasu as well, try to block with his right, with his right foot. So at the end, it's benefit if you do that. But the fact that today and the last game, it shows that today or even last week, it's not that type of occasion where you would have like a very, very good right winger or any what sort. And the fact that today you have Elanuzi, which by the way he has been doing fine this season. And I think today we should have probably gone for Tierney at the left back. I know it's gonna hurt Tomiyasu in a way, but I felt like for the benefit of the game, you guys can see the left side. It's less dominant as before. Right now we're shifting all the attention, all the attack to the right hand side. The same old Ben White and Bukayo Saka on the right hand side. They show pretty good chemistry at times, and of course the first goal that we score actually comes from the right side as well. Yeah, the pass from Bukayo with the the back heel, arguably you can say that one was lucky. But again, good cross by Ben White to Granit Xhaka, who scores 2 games in a row with his right foot this time. Again, similar style, cross from the right-hand side, kind of one bounce off the floor, and just smashes that one in. What a goal that one was, and Granit Xhaka is definitely showing he's a different type of animal this season. And on the left-hand side, you barely see any good chemistry between Tomiyasu and Martinelli. That's why on the left-hand side doesn't quite work the way that we want it, or the way how Arsenal would have wanted as well. I think the fact that, I don't know, if you guys watch the game, you guys know what I mean. It's just the fact that the chemistry level between Martinelli, Tomiyasu, and also Odegaard and Bukayo Saka are just completely different. And I felt like the chemistry between Kieran Tierney and also Martinelli would have been a much better choice for today's occasion. And yeah, unfortunately, we barely have any chances on the left side. We do have chances on the left hand side. I'm not saying that we don't. I'm saying that we didn't. But in terms of being more clinical, more threatening, has shifted from the left side to the right side right now. So that was pretty much it for my point, and the fact that today's topic is not being clinical enough. So it kind of shows at one point I felt like I think since the game against Leeds United, we have a few chances. Jesus had a great chance against Leeds United at one game, but other than that, today was just he is very hardworking as usual, chasing ball down. But the fact that today his finishing, it's pretty much very lacking as well. We try to take a lot of shots like from pretty much right outside the box. It's been saved or over the bar, something like that. And of course, there's one in the second half where Odegaard plays it through to Jesus. I thought, like we're gonna score from that, isn't it? But Elyounoussi, of course, Elyounoussi is a winger. He tracks back pretty nicely and intercept the ball. But I think in general today we should have done so much better with the chances. And yes, arguably the referee decision has been very poor. But again, I don't want to solely relying on the referee. Again, I don't want to be biased in anything. I'm not saying like, the referee is trash. We should have won this game. We should have won this game because of the ref, but the referee just wouldn't allow us, or the referee doesn't like Arsenal, something like that. No, today it's not quite about that because, there are calls where I think it was like very questionable. But besides that, we have our own chances as well, and the fact that if we can't even scores for the chances that we created, then even relying on the referee decision, it's kind of odd and kind of unnecessary, it would be different if we are not getting anywhere, right? Like 0-0, 1-1, but we don't have any barely progressing the game at all. Then arguably I would have probably gone in and mentioning or commenting on the referee decisions. But today it's not that day, unfortunately. It's the fact that it's just not, right? Okay, we can talk about the referee briefly. And again, by no means I would 100% blame the referee for the entire game. First one, it's the hug from the defender. I forgot his name. The hug with Gabriel Jesus in the box. You can see, the referee definitely has a very good angle in that one. The hug. The hug between the defender and also Jesus. That one was, I would say, it's a penalty. But you guys can probably think or say that Jesus is looking to go down. But the fact that the defender decided to like two arms just kind of like hug him from behind, you can't do that, right? And it shows the lack of consistency in the refereeing of the game. Yesterday, I was watching the United game against Chelsea, and that one's very questionable too, I would say. I don't think it's questionable. I think that was definitely a penalty. Because the fact that Scott McTominay loves to wrestle people with two arms on the ground or bring them down, again, it happened before. But he never got penalized. But yesterday's game, he finally got penalized. I think that was a penalty. So the fact that if that one was a penalty yesterday, then why shouldn't the one today be given a penalty? And it happens quite a lot, quite often, to be honest. There is probably a few hugs right outside of the box. Of course, when Jesus trying to like chest it down or bring it down. Unfortunately, it did not happen in that case, which was fine. Outside the box is less important than the one in the penalty box, isn't it? So, and then the Bukayo Saka diving one was absolutely hilarious. There was contact, but yes, I think it would have been a very soft foul if the referee has called it, but there was contact and stuff like that. But I don't think that was guaranteed, or that shouldn't be granted as a dive or anything. Like, to be honest, Theo Walcott, the one that he did, that was an obvious dive. But the fact that Bukayo Saka, yeah, you guys can say he was kind of like looking to go down, but at the same time, the yellow card was just completely absurd. 28 minutes in, that was his third yellow card of the season, but that was just very unnecessary from the referee side. I think it was Robert Jones today. I think is it Robert again? I would rather have Michael Oliver, Anthony Taylor, or anybody else than somebody who I never heard, like barely heard of his name before. Of course, I heard about Robert Jones before, but he wasn't causing quite a big controversy. But yeah, the lack of consistency within the refereeing world has been shocking. And there's one where Ben White was being shoved from the back, and I mean, like, can you even do that anymore? Like, Ben White is clearly protecting the ball, and whoever bumps into him was clearly not going for the ball. He was going for the body, So right now, you don't even know the standard. And you thought, oh, last year refereeing has been horrible. You thought this season would be better. And it's still the same. But of course, as an Arsenal fan, I felt like, this season is somewhat sort of better because we got some of the controversial call. Like, for example, the Gabriel Jesus penalty, or the build-up to the penalty against Liverpool. That one was quite controversial too. I think he gone down relatively easily on the floor. And then of course Lianco, the right back. Oh my god, like, this guy's an absolutely machine. By no means he's like playing great, but the fact that the way how he was, like, I don't know, punching Jesus back, attempting, or he actually did grab Nketiah's throat. That was only a yellow card. Who remember the game against Southampton at home back in 2020 when Arsenal was having a horrible run? I still remember that day. Granit Xhaka grabbed somebody's throat. Was it Southampton and Aston Villa? I forgot, but either one of them. He grabbed the throat. He got sent off. But today, when the Yanko does that, it only warrants a yellow card for you. Then what is refereeing nowadays, right? But again, I don't like to blame the referee when we should have probably won this game. I felt like, I would probably get a nick against the referee if they, if we only have one chance throughout the whole game. But that's not the case, and that's why this result hurts. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt. It's because Spurs lost to Newcastle today. Man City won. We still got a point. Again, don't get me wrong. It's still not a very good result, but at least we got a point. And United and Chelsea drew. Oh my God, big games this weekend. And the fact that the top six right now are Arsenal, City, Spurs, Newcastle, Chelsea, and then United. It's a very, very close one, but again, I felt like with other teams dropping points, Spurs dropping point, United dropping point, Chelsea dropping point. Again, I think yesterday's game I certainly wanted the draw in the end. But of course, to humble Manchester United fan, I would want Chelsea to win. I was like, oh my God, Aubameyang, please score a winner, right? Or try to score a couple of more goals. But of course he didn't. That's fine. But the fact that when other teams are dropping points like that, Arsenal drop points too, and that hurts a little bit. In the end, I think Man City got the gain. I think Newcastle United got the gain as well because, again, the teams that they're playing or the teams that are revolving around them has been dropping points. Again, it's good for them as well. But the fact that Arsenal should have probably be more clinical in front of goals. Other than that, we wouldn't be having this kind of a long conversation. We'll be talking something else. I don't think refereeing would be a main issue. I don't want to be a main issue, but again, who am I to blame for this game? Well, it has to be ourselves, isn't it? And I felt like it also shows the lack of depth on the bench today. And I felt like Vieira came on wasn't very sharp, wasn't very good. To be honest, losing quite a lot of possessions. And right now, I think our Arsenal's biggest problem is being counter-pressed. That's pretty much the problem that we're facing, and of course the lack of quality of depth. Like when you look at teams like Man City, you bench, you start Foden, Mahrez, but on the bench you have like Jack Grealish. We don't have that yet. Like we have Reece Nelson, but I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. But let's see. We still have approximately 5 games to play. Was it 5? No. 6 games to play, I realize. 2 more Europa, 1 Carabao Cup, and 3 league games. And of course, this Thursday we're going to PSV. That one's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how I want to feel because if they get a draw, they're certainly qualified as the first place again, which we would avoid the preliminary round 32. And of course, Nottingham Forest. Shout out to them beating Liverpool at home again. Not a very easy game to play. And I was watching like the whole second half because I was having diarrhea throughout the whole night, and I still somehow have the energy to watch that game for some reason. So I just did. But again, Nottingham Forest can't write them out yet. Yeah, they have been poor throughout the whole season, but in the Premier League, anything can happen. And after that, we have Chelsea. I think after that, we have Zurich, and then Chelsea, and then Brighton, and also we finish it off with Wolves, and then we go into and then 8 days later, that's where the World Cup begins. So yeah, fixtures are right now. Arsenal just need to, for the league games, I think those ones are very, very important, to be honest. So I think right now in the end, they try to grab as many points as possible. Hopefully a win against Forest, a win against Chelsea. I don't think they played great yesterday, and it shows that Arsenal might have a chance to to do something, get a result. And Wolves hasn't been great either. They're sitting at 17th, 18th, or 19th, either one. So I really do hope Arsenal is going to get a result very soon or in the near future. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.